As you can tell, I'm wearing the same outfit, in the same position, doing the same shit that I was just doing 2 seconds ago. This is going to be the helmet breakdown, just what I like to run, the way I have everything set up. This is very recently how I finished my helmet set up and have everything the way I like it, everything to my personal preference. So yeah, I guess we'll start with the helmet itself. I believe this is an Action Union helmet. I got it 2 years ago for Christmas. I believe it came off Amazon. And like I said in the last video, everything in this video is simply used for airsoft. Nothing. I'm not actually in the military. I don't do any. I'm not even old enough to own a real firearm. I don't do any drills. I'm not like a doomsday prepper. Like, there's no reason for me to buy a real ops core helmet. I have no need for a ballistic helmet. You can believe whatever you want to believe about maybe the needs of actually having one and, you know, in case shit does hit the fan, the use of one, but I cannot justify that shit for simply airsoft, which is why my helmet is $40 by itself. But doesn't mean you can't upgrade it. So on the back here, I'm running just simply an external battery pouch. Usually I'll switch them out throughout the day, but I use like a 4500 milliamp external battery that might be super high. I might be getting it might be 2500 milliamp. I don't know. I run it here, and then I'll basically just run the GoPro cord all the way up into my camera in the front, which we'll get to in a second. Which I've got a patch, Embrace the Suck. My cousin had that shit on his helmet, and I think it looks fucking dope, so I had to do it too. Then we got the fog patch right here. Just looks clean, and take it off, as you can tell. The X-Fog pouch is bright fucking red, and I'd rather have this shit covered up in a black patch than bright red on the back of my dome piece. It's not really a good way. So of course in there I do have the X-Fog. I see a lot of dudes who run Gators, which are super fucking expensive, and the X-Fog has worked great for me. I do run the gasket kit, so I have little holes that I can shove the tubes in to not have the tubes in the way, poking my eyeballs, and all sorts of shit, which I used to run like that, which is crazy. But I literally just have a red chem light right here, which hasn't even been broke yet, but just look cool for aesthetic purposes. This helmet used to be tan, but at my last event I had a guy who snake stencil sprayed his helmet. Looked a lot better than this. Honestly, the stencil that I got was super tiny, and I wasn't going to return it, so I kind of just went with it. And it doesn't look terrible. Honestly, it kind of just looks like I painted it. You can't really even tell if there's a snake skin. It kind of just looks like little blotches, but it looks cool. I think it looks fucking awesome. I used to run a helmet scrim, so the Bees Combat Systems helmet scrim, which no problem with scrim. I think, you know, depending on circumstances, which is why I had it in the first place, it makes sense. But with where I play at right now, I really have no use for it, and I think kind of running it slick honestly has always looked good, but kind of just in the recce rolls that I was doing, or the recce style, the recce play style that I was liking a lot, scrim was kind of a, you know, everybody fucking had it, so it's kind of where I ran it. IR light on the top. Never really had to use this for anything specific. It is, if you turn it on the non-IR mode, it's simply just a red light. So in buildings and shit, especially when there's no lights on, these are dead lights. So somebody looks at you in a building that's completely black, you're not going to see someone's dead rag, so you're just going to shoot them. And then having a light that's red, it's very visible, shows you're dead. So it also, it's aesthetics, it looks cool. Once again, on the front here, I'm literally running GoPro Hero 8. I think the 9 and the 8 are probably the best bet for recording airsoft. Just, I have friends who have the 11. I don't even know if there is a 12. I think I might have seen something about a 12. Whatever the highest GoPro range is. The cameras are such high quality that your SD cards are only going to run for like in a GoPro Hero 8 with my settings, 1080p 60 FPS, which is basically what most people's phones are going to run off of. You know, you're not really going to be seeing some people's Wi-Fi can't even handle 4K. Some people's computers can't handle 4K. So having 256 gigabyte SD card with 1080p 60 FPS, you're getting like 7 hours of video footage, which is plenty. But the one issue that I think everybody struggles with GoPros is overheating, and their battery life just in general is not very good. They die extremely quick, especially when it's hot outside, which is why, as you can see right there, I drilled a slot in the side of my GoPro case. I usually have a piece of foam in here that helps press the camera up against the case, because after drilling that hole, it moves around a lot and it sounds terrible. So having the foam in there stops it from moving. But of course, in my last event, I forgot to do that, so the camera shaking is kind of annoying, but it still worked. I got plenty of footage. Like, off these 2 external batteries, this thing will run for pretty much the entire day. It's basically just overheating and running out of SD card storage. That's going to be your main issue if you're running external batteries, but just hit the tape on the top of the helmet. I usually have the GoPro cord running out of here, but I had my headset cord for my PC headset got chewed, so I have to use the GoPro cord to charge my headset, which it's in there charging right now, which is hence why it's not on the helmet. So, let me see, there was something else I was going to say. Patches, these are real IR American flag patches. They were like $20 a piece. I believe I got them from Empire Tactical. They're super awesome looking. They're great. I have plenty of American flag patches, but I believe the ones like this, that there's a weird, like a really weird way that they look almost like crinkled, which makes them look really cool. I don't know why. It's just like it's a weird aesthetic that I like to it. It looks awesome. So then helmet, ear pro wise, it is the Earmore M32s. I think everybody and their fucking mother has these things with the Chinese ops core mount. The standard mounts just simply did not fit my ears properly, so I mean, these things run great. They're knockoff. I got them on Amazon for probably like $25. They haven't broken yet. I've been using them for almost a year, and they've never fallen off. They never shake. They're really tight on your head at first, but once that spring gets worn down, man, they do great. They do their job. On the inside here, I do have Combat Gear gel padding for the headphones. I wore my other ones out so bad that at my last like Milsim event, my really long one, Stonebreaker 10, which that was awesome event, I literally had bruising on the side of my head and could not wear hats or glasses for like 2 weeks because, I mean, these things just dug into my head for like 10 hours straight. It was bad. And also, too, the padding. So if you're going to get a really cheap helmet like this, just know that the padding is going to be fucking terrible. Thought maybe I had it on the floor somewhere, but it's so bad. It barely fits on your head. It moves all over the place. But the padding that I got for it, I believe also, again, I got it off Amazon. I don't even know if you can see it. The lighting's not very good because it's black padding, but it sits on my head fucking perfectly. Very prone to headaches. Side of my head was always hurting. I always needed at the end of events, I would always find myself trying to pull my helmet off. I mean, man, it was so painful. But my last event with this new padding, the gel inserts for the Ear Pro, not a single headache. Sometimes I didn't even notice I had my fucking helmet on. I mean, it's so comfortable. You see a lot of people have like the retention straps that they can twist on the back. I believe Wendy helmets have those just by default. I was gonna get one, but with the way that this sits on my head and the Ear Pro snug on my head, I don't even clamp. Nobody uses the fucking chin strap. I'm gonna say this right now. If you use a chin strap, you're a cornball. It looks like shit. You're stupid. Take it off. Don't even use it. Just let it dangle because it looks fucking cool. Joking, extremely based. But then I have my X-Fog tubes running out the front here that, of course, go straight into my Ear Pro, or iPro. So that works really well. I have these tubes cut like perfectly. It's just awesome. I mean, very, very recently, especially after my last event, Stonebreaker, my last big Milsim event, which was like one of my first, I really noticed a lot of shit that I needed to upgrade, just quality of life things, like the comfortability of my helmet, and just little shit like that. And man, the little changes, like $40 will make this shit so comfortable. And yeah, I honestly believe that's it. The mic, I got it off. I have the sticker on the side of this bucket. So I got the mic off Calm Gear Supply, which I believe is a two-way. So it's a mic and it's like a speaker, which of course I don't run the speaker, just the mic. So does the job. Everyone says it sounds fine. Honestly, I am having like dangling issues, so I'm probably gonna try and find like a really stiff one that's like a braided cable that you can kind of just move all over the place, because certain paintball fields where you don't need comms, which is like why this is still rolled up. Sometimes you don't need them, sometimes you do, sometimes they're very important, sometimes nobody even brings radios. So it does its job. I mean, it's a fucking mic. Like, shit was like $15. So honestly, I believe that's it. I think the battery pouch, I believe, was Ido Gear. Again, got that on Amazon. Xfog, got all that stuff from Xfog. I believe it's the budget model. It takes a pretty decent amount of time to charge, but lasts probably. I've probably only had this thing die on me like once. On a full battery, I'm assuming it probably lasts like 12 hours. I mean, it's literally a rotating fan. Like it does its job. It's fucking phenomenal. So, and the shit's been shot a million times outside of the case. I will say the one issue that I have had with it is it vibrates a lot. So, especially, I don't know if it might just be the cheap helmet or if it's just kind of a universal thing, but the Xfog loves to shake the shit out of my camera. So there's a lot of vibrating in some of my videos, which I've tried to fix by putting padding inside of here and then shoving the Xfog in it to try and lift it farther off of the helmet. And this battery pouch here had a thing that came up over the top to, I don't even know what it was for. It was literally just a random Velcro like lid thing, and I cut it off because it looked hideous. And I put that on top of the Xfog pouch itself, and I think that fixed it, but since I cut it off, now I'm back on the just base helmet. Kind of fucked it up a little bit. So I'm still getting that vibrating. It's not very loud. It's, as you can tell in some of my more recent videos, it's pretty quiet, but it's still noticeable, honestly, if you're really paying attention to it. So yeah, I believe that's it for the helmet. So let's move on to the belt. This is a Krydex belt. This is probably like one of the best replica brands that you can get. It's just silver buckle, super simple. I'm trying to tighten this so it looks better. There we go. So this thing is phenomenal. I had a Yakita one that I bought simply because it had a shit ton of pouches on it, and that thing is done. I don't know, it was kind of saggy. It was okay. It really was not what I was looking for, and it was tan. It really didn't look right to me, but whatever works for you. Of course, this one's multicam. The only issue I do have with this thing is the molly stops like 3/4 of the way down the belt. So you get it on the right side all the way up into the front, but on the left side, like if you were gonna draw your pistol from your front left, like if you're used to like a groin holster and you were to put one right here, you can't do that with this belt. The right side, yeah, left side, no. So thankfully though, I ran my mag pouches on the left with my pistol mags in front of my holster, which is in this cubby down here. It's a GBRS holster with the Safariland drop down with the True North. No, it was the True North leg drop with the Safariland holster, like quick release and shit. I ran a M17 P320 with a red dot on the top. Unfortunately, the gun exploded, so not running a pistol right now. I don't even have one. I had to return it. Thank God I got my money back. But I used two GBRS dual pistol mag pouches, which I believe I have them. You know what? I might as well just take the whole name. So, holster with the drop down, and then the retention leg strap. This thing, the holster, look, I love GBRS. I love their dudes. They do great shit. I honestly did not think that I looked into this properly before I bought it. I don't think this is meant for actual field use, I believe this is for flat range use only, because the amount of times I've lost my fucking pistol with this thing is, I can't even count. Like, it's in the 20s. And of course, when I get a new pistol, I'm getting a Safari Lane holster for the P320, because I love the P320. No diss against Glock, I love the way it sits in my hand. So yeah, it's not a bad holster. If you're doing flat range work, it's phenomenal, but for field use, don't recommend it, because the shit's gonna fall out all over the place. It is a P320 holster, for anybody that might think, oh, it's falling out because it's not a P320 holster. Duh. It is. And it's also X300 compatible, which is what I was running in it too. The red dot didn't even fit in it, so I couldn't run the red dot when I was running it slick on the holster. So that was kind of a downside. It doesn't make it a bad holster. It's just, for what I was trying to use it for, was not for me. Sorry. Had to fix something. Okay, so I have 2 dual mag GBRS mag pouches. I don't know if you can even see the engraving there to prove that it is GBRS. These things are phenomenal. I'm honestly considering taking these tabs off, just because the mag retention is so good. Oh, like here, we'll just take one of my old mags. Like, the retention in these things is phenomenal. Like, you really gotta pull it out, but just for safety purposes, I use the tabs. I have no issue pulling tabs on and off when I'm going to reload, but you know, if I can run it just straight off retention, I'm gonna do it, just because it's a lot easier. Dump pouch. I need to wash this thing down with a rag. Got like paint all over it from the field I played at. It was a paintball field. I believe this is Ido gear. It's a dump pouch. It's literally a fucking pouch. Does the job. I honestly kind of didn't want to get a dump pouch for a really long time. I didn't really like the way it looked. I didn't see the use in it. I kind of figured, oh, drop a mag, put my empty mag back in my plate carrier, and then grab a new one and put it back in. Dude, after having a dump pouch, how fast your reloads get, literally just by being able to chuck a mag in a pouch, is phenomenal. And you can always just pick shit up you find off the ground and put it in there too. Med pouch. This thing's huge, but it's huge on purpose because I put more than just med shit in here. Honestly, I believe this isn't even a real, like, I don't even have IFAK in here or anything. It is, I've got band-aids, I've got gauze, shears, a snake bite kit, and then some like rubbing alcohol. It's literally there for like aesthetic purposes, and maybe somebody gets a cut, here's a band-aid. Like, what all it's used for. But the Kradex belt as is, besides the not having the front molly right here, does a great job. Looks cool. It's a belt. I was looking into getting the Bison belt by Ferro Concepts, and it was like $220, and I don't think I can say this enough or stress it enough. I play airsoft. I don't use this shit for real world use. I'm not even old enough to join. Can't justify buying a $200 belt for airsoft. So it's like the same shit. It's just 40 instead of 200. So yeah, this thing never slacky. It always stays in place. You know, it's a belt. Does its job. The molly's phenomenal. The inner belt's nice. So yeah, that's about it on the belt. And then I might as well, while we're at it, show the gloves off. So I actually run 2 pairs right now. I kind of get stuck. So I was gifted these in a big ass box I was sent. So these were in there. They are Victos. They're just like olive green or ranger green, but there's no padding, and they're super tight on my hands, which I really like. The mechanics that have the padding, because if anybody's ever played airsoft before, taking a knuckle shot, especially from super close ranges, is fucking painful. So I really like having the padding on my fingers, even though, to be honest, for the most part, I've taken knuckle shots in the padding before, and you still feel it. It just doesn't hurt nearly as bad. It's still pretty painful. I have 1 hole in it. I'm thinking about getting the slick all black mechanics in a smaller size so that they're more snug, because mechanics gloves are just super high quality. Of course, I have a hole in mine, but I honestly think I might have cut it on accident. But great gloves, do the job. The other ones are really good too. I ran them at my last